Greetings, greetings, greetings. Good evening, sisters and brothers. This is the Melon Report 360 coming at you live out of the Valley of the Sun. It's really chilly here today. I think it's going to drop down into the 30s tonight. So you could probably hear my heat kicking in throughout the broadcast. And so my apologies in advance, but I got to stay warm. I've been out of New York for about uh, 35, 40 years. No, 40 years, I guess. And so, no. What am I thinking? What am I saying? So 35 years or so. So the blood is really different since I've been in the Southeast and now Southwest. And so it is adjustment when it gets chilly. I've been spoiled out here because the majority of the year is quite lovely, quite lovely. So let's talk. Let's go ahead and we'll start with, let's see, like, share, subscribe to the Melanin Report 360. Like, share, and subscribe. Would you do that? Would you do that? Would you do that? Thank you so, so much. So let me go ahead and read my disclosure and the fair use because I'm going to go deep into the COVID-19. All right. So copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. So let's talk. I've been thinking about COVID-19. I've been kind of in the zone. I went for a walk yesterday evening before I came on, and it was quite lovely to walk without a mask. I was walked down to the park, not too far from me, so maybe a half a mile to a mile. And I mean, some people had on masks, but not everyone. Not everyone. So it's public park, and there was a sense of COVID like COVID like because not everyone was totally in the zone of wearing a mask. So it was nice to not to wear a mask because this is the new norm. This is our new norm. And so with that, I think this is going to be a new normal for maybe another year. I think people are waiting for 2021 to roll out and poof, Friday will be, first day of the year. But I don't see too much difference. I don't see, definitely the first 6 months, I don't see a magic wand being waved and everything is back to hunky-dory. I just don't see that in the near future. But I'm doing all that I can to stay healthy, stay out of the hospital, stay out of that whole arena. Because as we talked about yesterday, I mean, whatever is happening, if you need to go, obviously, for treatment or what have you, do so. But what I'm saying is like new cases of, not feeling well, being tested. You don't even know if your test is going to be negative or positive. And if it's positive, and you have symptoms, that's a whole nother ball of wax. So the main thing is to stay healthy, healthy, healthy. Like I was explaining, this is winter. So we should be more internal. I was home before dark, and if you're able to do so, this is the time to be kind of introspective, contemplate the spring, contemplate winter, what you want to spring out. If you decide, some projects or things like that, this is the time. This is the time to plant those seeds. This is the time to plant those seeds. And with that, that's going to be the new beginning. Your life is going to sprout. You're going to spring forward in 2021. And that's our prayer. That's our meditation. That's what we, strive to do every year, to improve, get rid of what doesn't serve us anymore, because we need to continue to grow, continue to learn, continue to prosper in mind, body, and spirit. And so, the COVID kind of, beginning of the year, we didn't even hear too much about it. I'm talking like, the holiday season into the first of the year. I mean, it was just like some, like minor information on page 12 of the report, the news and the newspaper, I'm sorry. So it kind of came in a flurry. It was just like, oh my gosh, it wasn't here and now it's here. And the cases, I think it's over 300,000 deaths. So I have my own, I just think there's something behind it. There's obviously something behind it, because as we discussed a few weeks ago, we have, as melanated, beings on this planet, we have the strongest DNA. Our DNA has gone through it. You know, we've survived the Holocaust. We've survived, swine flu. We survived, I mean, fill in the blank. So because it is Black and brown people, um, this is concerning to me, because I'm not convinced that this isn't kind of extermination process, because it was here, now it's here. It's just off the chain. I mean, when you watch the news, you don't hear anything else but COVID-19. This is what they want to chisel into our brain, into our mind. And so the paranoia, even though it's like maybe 7% or no, probably 3% of global population has had COVID, and perhaps 1% of the global population has perished, about because of COVID-19, or at least that's what they're telling us. And so with that, I'm a scientist for trade and education, and I'm not convinced. I am not convinced that this wasn't created. It was kind of put throughout the globe, and because of depopulation, that was the agenda. To just kind of let it roll, let it roll, let it roll, let it roll. And I think with that, a lot of people that are perishing, or has already perished, what I'm saying is that is put under the umbrella COVID-19. even if you died of a stroke or heart attack, um, this is the goal to put it under the umbrella of COVID-19. So this is concerning to me because I think we have to pay attention. We must pay attention. Um, Across the street, not too far from me, there's a McDonald's, there's other, fast food, and it's a little bit of a hub there. And I mean, the fast food line is, off the chain, round the corner, or whatever. But I'm saying to you, we have to do better. When we know better, we do better. And so this is the goal of these discussions, to say we can do better. We can do better. And so if you know better, you do better. So I really want to drive it home that we don't need to eat in these establishments. Some people are eating, 2 or 3 times a week, or even 5 or 10 times a week. So fortunately, in my community, there are some options, healthier options. I will say that I'm not going to put a plug for anyone right now, but there's some healthier options, definitely in my community. Not everyone has, a community like mine, and that way they only have fast food. They only have fast food. So imagine that, if this is what you see, whether it's Church's Fried Chicken or, Popeyes. We have all these chains out here. So I'm not trying to say I don't see them, but you know, in COVID-19 era, if you eat there once a month, okay, you get a pass, but or once a quarter, I don't even see you. Let me retract. So I just maybe see, once a quarter, because there's so many healthier options. I believe we should choose the very best. We are the very best. So we should want to feed ourselves and our children the very best. Especially if you have options. You have options. So keep that in mind when you are inclined to maybe go for what like a soft drink. So they call them soft for a reason, and that's another conversation for another time. But I will say soft. They're saying that so soft will mean soft drinks. That's what the list is. This is a soft drink. This is a soft drink. So perhaps soft is going to be what your bones become soft. You know, your skeletal, your muscle, your being, is soft drink. So we'll get back to that another time or another day. But with that said, we just want to pay attention to optics, people who are willing to be, I guess, a guinea pig at this point, because they don't have enough research, just rolled it out. So, FDA rolled it out, the vaccine out. So, hey, we're all on board, and to see Dr. Fauci take it, again, it's back on optics. This is what we're seeing. So it must be safe. This is what we feel. Well, he's a doctor, virologist, blah, 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 MD. So this is what we should do. I don't know about you, but I'll be at the very, very end of the line, if I'm in the line at all. Because as quickly as it rolled out, I'm just not confident. There was a purpose of rolling it out so quickly. And I know that FDA has approved quite a few things over the decades, for recall, But the one thing with the COVID-19 vaccine, you're going to sign something, allegedly. You will sign something that will take the company off the hook. So if you have a loss, cannot file a claim against the pharmaceutical company to sue. You have to, if God forbid your arm falls off, or something drastic, and something maybe subtle. But if the confidence is there, there should be no problem with a lawsuit, because, you know, I'm going to say probably 5 or 10% of these companies that roll out pharmaceuticals, just not even the COVID-19 vaccine, but they can sue. So class action law. So I think it was against Johnson and Johnson for ovarian cancer, for example. So women who used the talcum powder, down below, and on the breast, and just powder, and the talcum caused cancer, and blah blah blah. So obviously they were sued, and they settled with the plaintiffs. So again, this is not going to be the case with the COVID-19 vaccine. So keep all of that in mind. I see free flu shots. I think I drove past Walgreens, for example, and I saw free flu shots. I think it's like, 9 to 5 or 9 to 6, Monday through Sunday. So every day of the week. So that hasn't, obviously I guess people are taking on the flu shot, but now they're taking a flu shot and the COVID-19 vaccine. I'm like, the body doesn't know which way it's going. But if it is a strong immune system, and you practice good health, wellness, you make the very best selections, I don't see this coming on your path. You don't have any underlying conditions. So perhaps you may not want to get in that line, get the COVID vaccine, because your immune system is the strongest system, um, in general. It's the strongest system. So if that wasn't the case, we would go into the grocery store, for example. I went to the market earlier today, and obviously you come home, you wash your hands, and you put your groceries up, blah blah blah. Even before this, let's just say 3 years ago, okay, COVID wasn't anywhere in the mindset of Americans and people on the globe. And so we were taking these probably lackadaisical. We weren't even coming home, washing our hands, and doing all that we're doing now. But we didn't get COVID-19. You know, so how was it that it was created? And that's what I'm questioning. I'm definitely questioning why and how. Well, I know the why. I know the why is depopulation, extermination. I do know that. So I'm asking sisters and brothers to be mindful of what's going on, to pay attention. This is 2020. We're at the end of 2020, but we need to see clearly what is going on, what is our truth, what we know to be true, because we all have an inner knowing. We have an inner knowing, trusting and believing. We know what we know, what we know. And so if it doesn't make sense, it's probably foolish. It's a foolish thing. So I'm going to read to you. Let's see if I can pull it up again. This is a passage from Sylvia Brown and the late Sylvia Brown. And she wrote, this is a book that was written in 2008, so 12 years ago. She predicted the 20, and this book was written, it was the psychic Sylvia Brown, written in 2008, so 12 years ago, quite a bit of a time that has come and gone. But let me read a quick passage from her book. Around 2020, a severe pneumonia-like illness will spread throughout the globe, attacking the lungs and bronchial tubes, and resisting all known treatments. Almost more baffling than the illness itself will be the fact that it will suddenly vanish as quickly as it arrived, attack again 10 years later, and then completely disappear completely. So she wrote that 12 years ago, you know. So, I mean, obviously she's a psychic, and so I definitely, you know, she gave the information, and, you know, perhaps no one had, she's a psychic, like they're blowing her off. They're not even considering her. But, you know, a lot of people can see, we all have many gifts. We definitely have gifts, and to lump everyone, you know, in five senses, people operate from different senses. And so she, you know, miraculously could tap into that inner knowing. And she gave information in her book from 2008. But I will say this, if they had, if, you know, I don't know if she contacted the NIH, any medical organization. I don't know. I don't know the history of her work, or that would probably be her, the president of her company, or, you know, the PR person or whatever. I'm not really clear, or if she tried to contact and they just like, oh, she's a psychic, you know, we ain't even gonna bat an eye about this. But there could have been, you know, a knowing and say, this has got to run its course, you know. It's running its course completely. The country has supposedly over 300,000 deaths in the US. Ugh. So there's 300 million people in this country, I believe, last count. So that's 1%. I'm trying to do the math right. So I think that's 1%. So we're going to create a vaccine that may or may not be mandatory. I'm just hoping it won't be mandatory, but we don't know. We do not know the severity, how far this is going to go. That's what I'm saying. You know, 2021, the coast is clear. No, 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 no. That would not be accurate. I just don't see it, you know, for maybe over a year, you know, another year, because it's just revving up. The numbers are not going down. The numbers are where they are, and a lot of people are panicked. I've been talking to some people. I mean, most people have, you know, inner knowing. They're like, whatever. I'm doing all of my supplements, you know, every day. I just ordered some more vitamin C. I didn't have any vitamin C. I bought. It's coming tomorrow, so I think I've got, you know, a lot in my arsenal, if you will. But clearly, we have to do our due diligence to make sure that we are not a statistic. I just don't want to see Black and brown people as a statistic. The heat just kicked in, so let me get a sip of hot tea. I'm drinking pomegranate, organic pomegranate. Oh, it's very lovely. Yeah, so I'm not really clear on why we are choosing perhaps to do the things that we're doing and not definitely taking care of ourselves. So you have homework. You have homework. So if you go into your pantry or your wherever you store your supplements, make sure you have at least 2 or 3 supplements, vitamin C. I just got sea moss, organic sea moss, another immune fighter. So vitamin D. I mean, we have so many supplements available now. And if you just put in immune system boosting or what have you, there's going to be a list. There's a list. So just do yourself a favor and just strengthen your body and eat well. Not only eat well, walk. Do if you have a membership to a health club, go, 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 go. And I'm going around the corner to LA Fitness, and membership's coming up, so I'm definitely gonna write the check, if you were, as it were, but just make the payment, because this is gonna. Well, I've been a membership. I've had a membership to a gym for over 25 years. This is my go-to. This is what I've always done, fortunately. And so, this is all I know to do is, work out 3 or 4 days a week, walk a day, I was back in Bali days when Bali's, I think there's some Bali's still open, but I joined my very first gym back in 1992 when I first moved to Atlanta. Bally's was really, pretty popular in the A, and so joined. But this has been a part of my life for as long as what, 25, yeah, about 25, 30 years, because let's see, 92, '02, yeah, about 25, 30 years. So let that be a part of your New Year resolution to say, I'm going to listen to Deanne. I'm going to, if you have money to do XYZ, that may not serve your body for a year, definitely consider whatever health club. I'm not, suggesting Play Fitness. That's right down the street. So, that's very convenient for me. But whatever is convenient for you, even if you invest in a $10 jump rope and just jump rope on your patio, or your yard, your courtyard area, just get your heart rate up, do some stretching, get a yoga mat, $15 yoga mat. So it's not about going necessarily to a health club, but do what you can with what you have. So, I was a Girl Scout, and we learned tools, back in the day, to like do it what you have, make lemonade out of lemons, So with that, make sure you're taking care of your body, mind, and spirit. So if you have time to meditate, that's beautiful. I'm chanting every evening and also some mornings. And so we just go with it. We go with it. And, you know, as far as you're doing the very best you can. You're putting your very, very, very best foot forward. And that's all we can do. In the craziness, the Obama, and we talked about that yesterday. But, we've got to ride above the fray. We have melanin, so we can surpass this energy that's low vibrational. It's dragging on you. We're listening to it morning, noon, and night. Not everyone, not me, but some are just in that zone, and they're paranoid and, oh my gosh, COVID's coming. But just operate with your knowing, your trusting and believing. You know, this will not be here forever. Okay. We know what we've been through as a people. We know that this too shall pass, if you will. Make sure you're doing your due diligence and make sure that we're all covered, but we cannot be covered and then we start making, not so good choices. So we feel we're covered and, with the blood of Jesus or whatever you believe. um, that's fine. That's fine. If that's where you are, well, that's where you are. But if you're covered and then you're going to fast food 8 times a week, what are you're playing Russian roulette with your life, you know? If you're going to smoothie place, I'm about to make a smoothie after this, but a smoothie, I make smoothies here at the house, but clearly we can definitely do better. And I was in the store this evening, and there was a sister. She was about as gray as me, and she had she had a basket, and she had like everything was wrapped up, so I knew it was out of the meat department. She had nothing else, and it was like I heard the guy, announce the total. It was like $77. I mean, I was like, where are the vegetables? This was the meat. That was it. So $77 in organic, I mean, you could, well, anyway, I'm not saying that there was nothing else in the basket. Yes, that is what I'm saying. She had a basket of meat for $77. And I'm like, huh? Probably rack of lamb and this and that and blah, blah, blah. But, she was a person of a particular size. So I'm not saying, that, but, you kind of connect all those dots. You connect all those dots. And I mean, she was a sister, and of course, I didn't say anything, but, it was like, wow, she didn't even have any, well, maybe she just needed the meat, but I don't know, $77, a lot of money for meat. I'm like, oh, it could have been like, 4 or 5 bags of organic. And if she went down to the farmer's market, anyway, yeah, this is where we can improve. We can make better choices, and if we can survive this time, we take our supplements, we eat well. I'm not saying everyone's going to be vegan and raw, and I'm not saying that at all. I am definitely not saying that at all. But like I explained about a week and a half ago, if we can at least eat 5 or 10% maximum meat, if you will, eggs, organic, cage-free eggs, if that's your thing, because I eat them maybe two or four eggs a week. That's about my average, 2 or 4 eggs a week. and organic and cage free. The very best I can do. But I I just think that if I do my part and I'm exercising, I'm not bombarded with the news. I'm informed, but I'm not, I got to figure out what's going on, because the all of that changes the vibration in the body. So if we're anxious, if we are eating when we have discomfort, we've got a conversation that is not so good, at the table, this is we're eating all of that energy. So we have to make sure that we're in a peaceful environment. We're not eating under stress. We are not binging. The list goes on. So I can definitely, I definitely know, let me say it like this. I definitely know we will get on the other side of this. So, in closing, I just want to say I was thinking and feeling the COVID-19, thinking about it. And I was thinking, what about if it was a bad experiment gone haywire? If could that be? Could this country, amongst other nations, this may have been a very bad experiment on the population, the global population. And I just don't put anything past the country and or the participants, a part of, turning the wheel, if you will. I just don't know. But I don't stay there. I just think like, is this what is going on? Is this a bad experiment that went haywire and 325,000 people have perished this year or since the COVID-19 era? This is an era. It just makes you wonder. It just makes you wonder. So, with that said, I'm going to close out. Stay safe as we go into 2021. If you do your part, change whatever dietary things that are kind of putting you in a different category of health and wellness. And, just we'll have a great year, 2021. We will have a great year. And that is my prayer. That's my meditation every morning is, just the serenity prayer, God grant me, the God grant me, the God within, the God within. There's a God within. And I was listening to Reverend Ike, the late Reverend Ike, and he was, he followed what he knew to be true, and he said the truth will set you free. So Reverend Ike has been, I've been listening to him for a couple of years now, off and on. I listen to other people, but he has a special place in my heart because I knew what he was up against, born in South Carolina in the 30s and that kind of thing. And so he made 180-degree change on his life and the life of his family. So I really, really commend him in spirit and in truth. So that is my Reverend Ike abbreviated story. So have a wonderful night. Stay safe. Be well. And we will be here tomorrow around the same time as tonight. And I look forward to your comments. And again, follow me on Instagram and the other social media platforms. And I look forward to reading your comments and getting some feedback. All right. Peace. Stay well.